Allison, Narver, we chose this play. I say we because I have this amazing staff that really reads and reads and reads. We all get together at a certain point, we cull them down, we talk a lot about them, but when we chose The Mysteries of Love and Sex, you were absolutely my first thought. I so respect your work with actors. I think that hand-to-hand combat that you get out of them is stunning and beautiful, and I've admired it for a long time, so thank you. I would love to ask you, the question that we always start with, I think, when we pick a play is why this play and why right now for this show?
Well, first of all, I think that is those are the best and first and most important questions you can ask. Before I answer those questions, I want to say two things. First of all, I couldn't be prouder than I am to be part of John's first season. There isn't a better choice. So I'm so proud and so grateful to be here. And secondly, I am so thrilled, I have to say, to see so many women directing and acting this year. So more power to you, John Langs, and ACT, and the entire ACT community and staff. So thank you for supporting that. So this is a glorious play. It's a complicated play. It's a beautiful play, and it's a true play. It's a play about love, and it's a play about all the complications of love. It's a play about family. And I have to say, right now, watching Republican debates, and even watching Democratic debates, and looking at polls, and listening to what people have to say, it's so nice to read a play about truth. And it's so nice to read a play about the complications of love and truth, and how when you tell somebody you love the truth, it's really hard sometimes, and it's a rocky road. And so this play is about, as I said earlier, three family members, mom and a dad and a daughter, a Jewish family, and the daughter's best friend, African-American young man. They grew up together, and as I said, they went off to college, and they were roommates, and so they assumed they were in love, sort of, because they were best friends and they loved each other so much. So they were in love, right? And so much of the play is about all those four people discovering what it means to become truly themselves, and figuring out truly who they are and how they can love themselves and love one another. There is a possibility that sounds like the worst play ever. But you know what? It's really not, because it is so charming. I think John described it beautifully as something like the best champagne you can imagine, because it's so fresh and light and so funny and so complex and remarkable and so true. So I guess what I would say in short is that there is always something urgent about a play that is about telling the truth. There's always something urgent about a play that asks you to really look at what it means to love one another right now. There's always something really important about asking you to look at what it means to love yourself, even though it's really hard. And I think that particularly right now, that's particularly urgent. So I think that would be part of my answer.
That's so great. I want to know from you, as directors, we all embark on these journeys with these plays, and I think in speaking with all of you, you find the center of it somewhere, in one relationship, sometimes in a line, sometimes in a design choice. And I'm wondering for you, Allison, what's leading you right now? What's the question that's leading you?
That's a great question. I typically find my way into plays through music and or through sound, and this is an interesting play because this play is so much about the language of these characters, and so it's sort of an interesting dance to find my way in. And the designers and I have been doing this dance together to find our way into this play, and so in a funny way, I think that right now the center of this play, the place we're finding our way in right now, because we haven't started rehearsal yet, and typically that is the best breeding ground of all, is we are finding our way in through the design of the set, because we are looking at a world that contains, so it's in the Allen, so it's going to be in the round. But we have this round stage, but it's also contained by a frame. And so there is something about the circle, and there's something about a frame which contains that circle, and ultimately that frame becomes broken and split apart, and that begins to tell us the story of that play. For me particularly, one of the things that is most important about working in a space like the Allen is that, and in a play like this that is so much about the beauty of this language, because it is gorgeous and it is hilarious and it is so smart and so true, is that the set exists not for decoration, not to be pretty, but rather to facilitate the action of the play. And in this case, the action of the play comes through the language. And so we are working, so the design is really working to facilitate the action of the play, particularly the set design. So we are really finding our life right now through that set design. And Matt and I have worked a lot, Matt Smucker and I have worked a lot together in the Allen, so that's where we're finding our beat right now.
That's great. I just to say to those of you, there are times that you go to the theater, and I think ACT Theater is a theater that really promotes messy conversations, that we sort of have a mandate to take some of the stuff out of the contemporary world and find plays that really speak to it. But we also, every once in a while, you meet a play that just makes you feel so good to be a human being. And I wanted one right at the heart of the season, and I wanted you to direct it. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.